Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you're watching, whether you're watching in Leicestershire, whether you're watching in the US of A, whether you're watching, let us know where you are watching from. In fact, today we want to know exactly where you're watching from. My name's Phil, this is Leicester Fan TV. We've got another very special show for you tonight, live. We can get your comments on screen, so do get them in. Let's get a few hellos. Mark Charles, good evening to you. Hope you're all well. Matthew Bond is in France. Whereabouts in France are you, Matty? Doing some work, obviously driving around there. Sean is watching. So is Maz. Good evening to you. Adrian says, say hi to Bonnie Tyler for me. All right, Adrian, we'll do that. Ross Howard, good evening to you. And he's saying hi to Philip Howard. Good evening to you. Let's bring Jamie in because we are going to be joined very, very shortly by Carl Muggleton.
I'm still amazed at them new graphics. You surprised me with them. I wondered what was going on.
Did you like them?
They were good. They were good new graphics, they were. I thought, am I on the wrong show here? I thought, Jesus, what's going on here? I was a bit worried.
Come on, Jamie. Get
right.
Muggo in.
Today, Carl Muggleton, ex-Leicester keeper, born and bred Leicester. He was YTS in 1985. He signed properly in 86. David Pleat gave him his first game. He had 7 loans with us, and he had 1 with Liverpool as well. So that'd be nice to talk to him about his time at Liverpool. He played 54 games. He also saved the second penalty in the Blackburn playoff semi-final, when we all know what happened with David Speedie that day. And unfortunately, he was the first keeper to be sent off for Leicester in 1991 against Charlton. So I think we better ask him about that one if he remembers.
What a way to start, Carl. The first ever keeper to be sent off for Leicester City.
I know. Cheers for that. Thanks for that.
It's part of the history, though, isn't it? It's part of the history of the club. So
it is.
Your name will be ever there. The first one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully there's some decent things as well.
Oh, there will be. There will be. Shall I get going then, Phil?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. What I want to know is when you were in the reserves, it's not under 21s, and it was the Central League back then. Yeah, what was it like when David Pleat told you that you were going to start your first game? What did he say to you, and the feelings you had being a Leicester lad and playing for your hometown club?
It was a week of build up to it because we had Martin Hodge and we had Paul Cooper. Martin Hodge was injured with a groin strain, and Paul Cooper was playing at the time. Paul Cooper then had an accident driving home on the Saturday after the game in his car and was in the hospital. So the build up was all that week, really, just waiting to see, because obviously at that stage I was still pretty young. You don't know if he's going to get an experienced keeper in. As the week went on, you sort of knew you're going to be involved in the team and involved in the game. So it was a gradual build. It wasn't one of those where you got into the dressing room and it was, oh, you're playing today. So yeah, I had plenty of time to get nervous for it and get a bit of stick from my mates. So we're going to the game.
Because they were all asking for free tickets, were they?
Yeah. Oh, it was. But it was great. West Brom away. You know, a great atmosphere. We always took a decent crowd there. So you knew there was always going to be a great following there and a great reception once we got there and got out on the pitch.
Yeah, because there's nothing better than what Leicester fans love is to have a Leicester lad on there. What age were you when you first sort of got involved with Leicester City, Carl?
When I was at school, when I was a schoolboy, I was playing for Syston Juniors at the time, and we were under 11s, so we were 10-year-olds, and Dave Richardson was the youth team manager at the time at Leicester, with Gordon Milne, the manager, and Jerry Summers, and they'd got this idea of starting the Centre of Excellences up. They had a trial games at the training ground, Beaver Drive. A few hundred kids probably went to the trial games, got selected from that, and ended up from there on in going on a Tuesday night or Thursday night training with the likes of John Samuels. There's a fellow called Jim Wright from Birstall who was key in the evening training sessions, and we would be in the summer holidays. Would be in training for a couple of days a week or for the whole week, obviously the evening trainings, and I carried on doing that throughout up until the age of 16 when I went in and signed as YTS.
Jamie?
Yeah, I was going to ask. Just moving on a couple of years, there was a big game at the club. No, not quite that big a game. The Oxford game in 1991. I know you weren't actually play. I know you didn't play that game, but you were still part of the club then. What was it like when we had to win against Oxford to stop us going down into League 3 for the very first time? The club, it must have been just a bag of nerves. The whole club, players, everybody, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played a part in that season as well, and it was tough. Martin Hodge eventually got fit as well and played that part of the season, and it was a tough run into the season. Thankfully, TJ scored the goal that kept us up. So, Jerry Gordon Lee was taking the side at the end of the season because David Pleat left, obviously, and it was a strange, tough run into the season. You know, in that relegation zone, picking up points here, there, and everywhere where you could. But it was tough, and obviously, you know, what a relief at the end of it.
I mean, it was days of when there was only transistor radios, and everyone in the crowd didn't know what the scores were. I think it was it West Brom, Bristol Rovers? I think the other game, no one knew what was going on. And even though, I mean, I didn't even know Tony James had scored because I thought it was David Kelly that scored to start off with, because he went celebrating. Everyone was hugging him, but no one knew it was David. And then it was only when we were walking out that we realised at the end of the game that everything it was an unbelievable feling. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it now, to be honest.
And then
go on, Carl.
It was you know, great scenes at the end, obviously, and then to you know, for the season, and then Brian Little obviously coming in and changing things around, and obviously we went from strength to strength after that. I
mean, that was a tough watch as a fan watching David Pleat. You know, there was some not very nice hand clapping going on for a long time with David Pleat, but Brian Little did famously come and start that wave, as he calls it. He did come in with a breath of fresh air, didn't he, Carl?
It did. It was great that when he came in and everything, the organisation was up 2 levels. You know, it just went from there to there, and it just sort of rose through the roof. Him and John Gregory and Alan Evans, you knew what was happening with training. You knew what was happening building up to games. You knew what was happening throughout the week. It was professional level, just went up another level. It was, you know, it was great.
Yeah, Jamie.
Right, I'm going to move on a couple more years. Speedy, dive or no dive?
Oh, definitely a dive. I felt sorry for Walshy. You know, we started off. Look back at the game. We started off all right in the game. They got a little bit of a foul towards the end of the first half, but it was, you know, Speedy just, you know, he sort of whittled his way through, and, you know, a slight touch maybe from Walshy a little bit, but, you know, it went down very easy.
Oh yeah, definitely did. And were you at Leicester when he signed for Leicester? I'm not sure.
No, I left that season. Yeah.
Did you have any words with him after the Blackburn game then at Wembley, or did you just say, "Oh, well played"?
I think I stayed away from him a little bit. I was gutted at the end of the game, obviously.
I mean, Carl, personally, I was going to say, personally, Carl, you had a really good game that day. You saved a penalty. You know, what was it like as a Leicester lad being on the pitch at Wembley in a Leicester shirt? Just talk us through it.
I think the build-up, I mean, there's the build-up at the hotel, like people coming into the hotel and talking to us and going out training. But actually, when you get to the stadium and walking out, we walked out the tunnel, and in front of us was the whole of the Leicester fans that had filled that half of the stadium. Where the tunnel was the Blackburn fans, and obviously it wasn't as full there. So as you walk out, all you saw was the blue and white Leicester, and it was an incredible atmosphere. It was roasting that day as well. It's so hot.
Yeah. Always is at Wembley, isn't it? Every time we've been, the sun's been out, no matter what. You mentioned about Walshy and how unlucky he was. What was he like in the changing rooms? Because he gave the impression on the pitch of being a bit of a hard man. What was he like in the changing rooms? Did he give it like a rallying cry before the games?
Oh yeah, Walsh was very vocal. He G'd people up. He had to G himself up. I think that was part of himself, G'ing himself up. You always get different personalities in the dressing room. Some are quiet, some just sit there. I think when I started, we had one. It might have been Paul Ramsey, who used to just lie down on the bench and almost go to sleep before a game. And then what a character he was on the pitch. He didn't hold anything back.
No,
so people moved. People prepared themselves for the games in different ways, and Walshy would be he'd be one of the people punching people on the back of the head and getting people going. He was he got he wanted to win. He was a winner and he wanted to win.
Who if Walshy was that sort of determined, who was the joke? Who were the jokers in the pack, Carl, while you were there then?
From that time, I would say. Well, Mike Newell, when he was there, was pretty good. Tony Spearing, he was a little character at a bit earlier on. Kevin Russell, Rooster.
He had
but
he never used to start playing until March, though, did he? He never used to start the season. He always used to start in March, bang a load of goals in, and take all the glory.
Yeah, well, that's what forwards do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you have hard work at the back. It's a bit hard work. Just on that point, in your time, even supporting Leicester, who do you think's been the best? I presume you do support Leicester, though. I forgot to ask that question, actually.
Yes,
Good. That's all right. Who's been your? Somebody asked this question. Yeah, somebody asked this question earlier. Who would be your best keeper that you've watched, or even afterwards as well, or while you were there, apart from yourself, of course?
Well, oh God, I mean, I would say I was really fortunate watching Mark Wallington.
Yes,
from the age of being a schoolboy and going down to watch games regular and that. Obviously Schultz before that, Peter Shilton. To see him train and how he worked was incredible. Just from going down the training ground, watching training sessions. But and that was well before my time. I was just a kid really, and then seeing him in games. But Wally was outstanding to play at that level and that consistent for the hundreds of games that he played for the club was outstanding. And even after him, Ian Andrews that came to the club.
Yes.
Yes.
To train with and the qualities that he had. We had a great coach at that time, Alan Hodgkinson, and we even worked all through the summer. He would come in through the summer, and we'd have 2 days in the summer when everybody else was off. We'd go in, and the groundsman Keith Kent at the time at the training ground. Although it was summer and the grounds were rock hard, he'd come in and water a pitch or an area for us, and we'd just be almost rolling around in mud, but getting a lot of hard work in with some of the players coming in, and the likes of Andy Feely, Alan Mocklin that had come in through the summer, and they'd be taking shots and
there's some hard names, isn't there?
Well.
Yeah.
And so they were the sort of characters that you grew up with. So then the mentality of that hard work and doing the extra, helped to ingrain into any young players.
Because I mean, while you were there, Carl, there was quite like you mentioned a couple. Paul Cooper was a great start. Obviously penalty saver himself and a good keeper, quite small. Kevin Poole must have been there around the same sort of time, wasn't he? I'm trying to go back in my brain cells. Which were some of the keepers you were, fighting for that first team spot?
I mean, really, it was the team. It was Martin Hodge and obviously Paul Cooper around that time, and then Kevin came on the back of me. I mean, we kind of spoke before. I got getting sent off, but I got sent off in a. I got sent off in the Leicestershire Cup. Where all the senior league clubs played in the Leicestershire Cup. I think they still play it now, but it was played at Filbert Street. And Paul Danson, the referee at the time, he sent me off in the final of that, and that was about 2 games before the end of the season, or right at the end of the season. And then the paperwork came through, and I had to miss the first 3 games of the next season, which was the likes when Kevin Poole came in, and obviously he played the first 3 games, established himself. We went on a great run. Obviously, we got to the playoff final, and I got in at the end of the season. But it was Kevin Poole. Russell Holt came in a little bit towards the end, but he was only a young kid, really. So it was really still me and Kevin Poole. And then when I left, it was Gavin Ward came to the club.
Yeah. Yeah, so some decent keepers. So that sending off cost you a little bit then, Carl, for really not a massive cup competition for the reality of it.
No, it was a bit frustrating at the time, obviously, but you never know. A new manager comes in and he signs a goalkeeper. He's probably going to play him at the start of the season anyway. So it probably, that might not have cost him a place. You do always sort of think, well, if the pre-season had gone really well and then the manager saw you play and he might have put you in the team, but it's all what and ifs and it's all sort of water under the bridge now. Yeah,
Jamie?
Yeah, I mentioned in your intro you had 7 loans, right? Because you were here for 8 years until you left for Celtic. You had 7 loans. One of them was at Liverpool. How did that come about?
It was, it was that season that we nearly got relegated. And it was, I started the season, and then the manager brought in Martin Hodge when he was fit, and then we played Liverpool in a reserve team game. Played the game, went home after the game, and then got a phone call the next morning to say that you're going up to Liverpool, and that was about it. I don't think
quick as that.
Phone call. Yeah, I don't even think it was David Pleat that phoned me up. I think it might have been Gordon Lee and just sort of said, you're going up to Liverpool. No real choice, but it was just a matter of, you're going up there, and then found out that obviously Mike Cooper was coming down here, and just a bit of a swap. Don't know never really got told what it was about, what it was all about. It was just a great experience to go there and sort of see the likes of some of the players that were there at the time.
You after leaving Leicester, you did go on to Celtic. You made a few appearances there. A massive club, Carl. 60,000 odd people up there.
I was gutted to leave Leicester, obviously, being local. The manager had brought in Gavin Ward and Kevin Poole. He didn't take me on pre-season tour, and it was still gut wrenching to leave. But you saw it was likes of Celtic, so it was one of them clubs that you can't really sort of say no. It's a great opportunity to go up there and try and establish yourself in the team there.
Because a lot of Stoke fans really, some people. There was a comment earlier about it, and some people that I know have said that you're quite a legend at Stoke, so you must have had a good time at Stoke as well.
7 years, enjoyed it there. 7 long years.
Yeah, I played for quite a while there. Again, ups and downs, in and out of the teams at times, but I like to think I was loyal to Leicester, loyal to Stoke, loyal to whoever I played for. I tried to give my all and do the best you could.
They always say it's a bit of a maverick position, don't they? Being a keeper, Carl, you've got to be a bit loony and a bit. It's a tough, lonely sort of role, isn't it? Because if you do come out the team, it must be so hard to try and get back into the team. Are you mental to be like a keeper?
A little bit, I suppose you have a little bit, because there's only one position, isn't there? There's only one position. There's only one place. You're always up against it. You've always got to when you get in the team, try your best to stay in the team. Sometimes not always about your performances either. It's sometimes just about results and things like that. But it's tough, and when things aren't going well, you get the crowd on your back, and you can hear everything for the position that you're in. And then obviously when things are going well, people are jumping all over you. So it's great. It's great. I was lucky. I got in that position. I played in that position, like I say, from the age of 10 all the way through. So, but then I always wanted to get on pitch and score a few goals in training.
I've got a question here from Soren, Jamie. Sorry, just Soren's
Yeah.
Carl, what's your expert views on Kasper Schmeichel then and his time at Leicester City? Because he came, obviously, I think, from Notts County, been with us for 9 years now.
Yeah, I was at Notts County, coaching Notts County at the time when I was when he came to the club with Sven, and he almost won that league for us that year. Some of the outstanding saves that he made, his distribution skills were outstanding, excellent. You know, left and right foot. He worked hard at his game. He was very professional. You know, you could see it. Who his dad was and the background that he'd come from. Sven obviously thought a lot about him to bring him into the club, and he's been absolutely phenomenal while he's been at Leicester. I think he's been outstanding for how many years has he been there now? 7 years?
Nine years.
8 years.
2011, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, he went from Notts County. I thought he'd come straight to Leicester from Notts County. I spoke to a couple of people to try and get him to go there, but he went to Leeds for a year. Ended up going to Leeds, and then Sven went in at Leicester, and Sven took him to Leicester. So I'm not sure what they really thought of him at the time when he first was going to go there, or when he left Notts County. But Leeds took him, and then obviously Sven brought him back in there. So, and he's been outstanding. You know, some of the saves he's made, and you've been down some of the live games, and you've seen some of the saves that he makes live in live play, and it's his reactions are phenomenal.
Jamie?
Yeah, I was going to say on that point, Chris from Leicester Till I Die has asked, would you put Shilton or in his prime or Caspar in his prime? But who would you choose between them two?
God, again, different eras. For now, you've got to say Caspar because of his footwork and how he can control the ball with his feet. So the all-round thing and what he's done at Leicester for the amount of time that he has stayed at Leicester, Caspar, I'll probably put him in there. But Schultz was unbelievable, wasn't he? Schultz was different class. It was very hard to choose, but for a keeper going in now, if you're going to put a keeper in now, I'll probably say Caspar because his ability with the ball at his feet.
I've got a question here from Karen. Karen Kennel says, Carl, do you still live in Leicester? And talk us through what you're up to now, Carl.
Yeah, I'm still in Leicester, in Quediborough. I've sort of moved away, obviously, when we went up to Scotland and moved to Stoke and lived in Stoke for a while, but moved the family back to Leicester. That's where the roots are. That's where the family is. It's a great place to live. We're now, as for what I'm doing now, I qualified as a driving instructor when I finished playing. So I still do that. I do that part-time. I've been part-time. I've been goalkeeping coaching part-time at different clubs since finishing playing at likes of Notts County, Northampton, Gillingham, Chesterfield. And at the minute, I'm working with Northern Ireland and Ian Barraclough with the under-21s at Northern Ireland, as well as doing the driving school.
So working at international level on goalkeeping under 21s. Yeah,
I mean it's been it was great. I mean, when Ian went in there, I went in with Ian after his first game, and then we had the opportunity to go in full time at Chesterfield with Martin Allen, and we had a short spell there. Results tough club to go into at the time. They just had 2 relegations. Yeah. Thought we turned it round, had a couple of great results at the start of the season, but it was tough. No, results ended up not going great for us. Left there, and then Ian came in, asked me again to go in with the under-21s with Northern Ireland, and it was just a great opportunity again to get back into football and just be part of football, even though it's only away for international breaks and international weekends, but still get to go and watch games, still go and get to see some young players. We've got a couple of good young keepers there.
Have you still got all I was going to say, have you got ambitions, Carl, to get back into like a club itself maybe? last time I chatted with you a couple of years ago, just before that, you had a great spell at Northampton as well as a coach, didn't you? So is it ambition to get back at club level?
I mean, yeah, you're always sort of lucky. It's in the blood. You just sort of say to the wife, you know, that now perhaps you should just sort of concentrate and just get on with life and and keep going with the football part time and see what happens. But if you get a phone call and someone says that you fancy coming in, it's like, yeah. So who knows? You never know what's around the corner. But at the minute, it's enjoyable doing the driving, doing the international stuff, and we do fostering as well. We've got foster kids as well, which is interesting, and you know that's hard work in itself, especially at the moment with this homeschooling.
Well, don't just take them out in the back garden, don't you, Carl? And just say, right, we're going to do 50 press
That'll
up.
kick them out.
Yeah. Go on, Jamie.
One of the questions I was going to ask. One of the questions I was going to ask, I've been wondering this for years, actually, is Adrian Bramley asked it, when a booking or sending off comes in, did the players actually pay the fine, or was it the club? Because like at grassroots football, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it just got taken out your wages.
It
was the same. It's the basic fine from the FA, I think, was the same as your local footballers, whatever it was at the time, 10 quid or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that just came out.
I didn't know that.
That just came out your wages, and then obviously you got a little fine on top of that. I mean, I think I got done a week's wages for me for getting sent off in the league game.
Oh, blimey! I didn't realise. I thought it'd be more. Yeah. Didn't think it'd be the same price, same as local football.
Yeah,
it cost me a fortune. That did.
Well, you shouldn't get sent off so many times, did you?
That was me playing centre half. I was more bookings than sending off, but it was from playing centre. Yeah, but I was playing for Sunday morning football though, so it's a bit different when they all come up. Few pie-eyed, yeah. Oh.
Hey, listen, we're all local lads. You used to play for Carl. You said Syston Juniors, was it?
Yeah, as a kid, yeah.
I used to play for Thurmaston Magpies, Beaumont Town, Thurmaston Magpies. Who were you, Jamie?
Kev Muxlow Juniors.
Yeah.
My grandson plays for Thurmaston Magpies now.
Yeah. When I finished playing, my mate used to run a couple of teams and ended up playing some of the men's football teams just for a bit of a kick about. The Nomads, played for the Nomads a couple of times. Played for Thurmaston Magpies a couple of times. So he dragged me in and roped me in to play a couple of games for him. But again, it was great just to go and catch up with the lads that were playing, and some of my mates were still playing at the time as well.
Yeah, great time. Carl, and here's another question for you. I'm sure as fans, when we used to stand behind you in the cop, we used to shout out Muggo. But I hear lots of people call you Mugsy. Where are we on nicknames? Yeah. What's the official? Well, I'm sure fans used to call you Muggo. But
I thought it was.
But players seem to call you Mugsy.
Yeah, local is always Muggo. For once we get into the football environment, it was always Mugsy for some reason. But obviously called a lot of other names as well.
Did you used to get, back in them days, because you used to be, at Filbert Street, used to be really close to the crowd. Did you used to get a lot of stick from the away fan? Well, any fans?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, there was lots of stick floating around here, there, and everywhere. I mean, some of the stuff was very close to the knuckle. You know, you can all the stuff that's going around with racism and all the everything that's going around now is it's crazy, some of the stuff. But yeah, you used to get it's close. It was very close to the edge, some of it. So it was, but you kind of took it on the chin, got on with the game, focused on the game, and that was it. At the latter part of my career, I probably had a few laughs with fans. When you're young and you're starting off, you try to focus on the game and not let it affect you. Whereas when you get a bit older, you hear a few comments and have a few comments back and try and get a bit of banter with some of them. So it was, that was as you get older, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, because Alan Young's just put a comment. Well, a few minutes ago, going back on the nickname, he's put Muggs. Alan Young said Muggsy. So you must know Alan quite well, then, do you?
Oh yeah. It's great. It was great, Youngie. when I started as an apprentice, they used to have the Legends games. Obviously, some great legends playing then: Keith Weller, Birchie, Alan Young. I think even Banksy played a couple of games, but Banksy always wanted to play on the play on pitch, so they never had a goalkeeper. So I'd end up going down to play for the Legends games and played a couple of games. Played at British Shoe a couple of times, just yeah. So that's how long it's going back. So you know, it was great to go and play with some of them. Alan Wallet, you know, Keith Weller, some of them players. You know, even then, Frankie Wervo played a couple of games as well. So just seeing them, just meeting.
Just keep going with the names, Carl. It's loving this. Just keep going with the names. Name dropping.
It was great. It was great. You know, for me going there, and obviously them players that I'd watched. John Samuels, he'd played in a few games, and so you know it was even that was great fun.
Fantastic. Carl, listen, we've just run over, but it's been absolutely brilliant having you on. Look, the Leicester fans have loved listening to your stories. Hopefully, you'll come on again in the future for us.
Anytime. Whenever you're struggling for a slot, give me a shout.
Hey, we had to book you. I had to get your number from your daughter's boyfriend, also I can't remember who it is, and then so I had booked you 3 or 4 weeks in advance. So you're not filling just any old slot.
I know. No, it's great. It's always great to catch up, and you know when you're talking, some of the memories that sort of come flooding back to you. You know, it's even just sitting there, you sort of think about some of the stuff. It was great times, great career, and just, I loved it there.
Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Muggo. We're definitely going to
go
Muggo. Thank you. Yeah. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Carl.
Cheers. See you soon. All the best.
Cheers, Carl. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Stay safe.
Cheers. We'll let Carl go. Thanks so much to Carl Jordan. Another good one, Jamie.
Another good one. And he said it was definitely a dive. So there you go.
We knew it was. I could see it from the back stand where I was like half drunk at the back of Wembley. I could see it was through my boss-eyed beer eyes. I could see it was a dive. Trust me. So yeah, clearly
another good one. All these ex-players coming on. Great for them to give us the time and that, and the stories they come out with. I don't think we've heard the same story twice, really, have we? From any of them.
Who have we got brilliant. Who's on next week, Jamie?
Next Wednesday night, we've got one of my favourites, old Stevie Linex, running down that wing. Next Wednesday, yes. I might even grow it back. Just
should we try and grow them for next week? A Stevie Line. He hasn't got it anymore, you know. I'm just going.
No, I know he hasn't.
I'm going to get a Sharpie.
Draw one on. No, not Sharpie, Phil. That would never come off.
I think that's what I'm going to go for. Definitely, we're doing that, Jamie.
Yeah, I'll be there. You know me. I don't mind make myself look good full.
We'll have a Stevie Linex tash. Jamie, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on your Sunday
show.
You
on Sunday morning, yes. 11 o'clock, aftermath show. No football yet, but still the Fox's aftermath show.
Brilliant. That's Jamie. Thanks, Jamie. He's off.
Cheers.
Sorry, Jamie's gone there. It's just me. It's, absolutely amazing. Thank you for Jamie for sorting that one out again. Thank you for Carl Muggleton for coming on tonight. It's been absolutely brilliant as ever. Chappers would be getting me to remind you to follow us at Leicester Fan TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, even on LinkedIn for those of you in the business world, and Periscope. So go and follow us wherever you are on those. And as ever, these guys here, local businesses, go like and support them. Don't forget Jamie is live on Sunday in the aftermath show. I actually think me and Jamie are live tomorrow lunch with Blue Van Man, actually thinking about it, which has completely slipped my mind. What day is it today? I think we are Thursday at 1 o'clock. So we'll see you tomorrow lunchtime for a pint and a pie and a chat. From now until then, we shall see you. My name's Phil. This is Leicester Fan TV. Please like and share all our videos.